Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and today we have a box. Hey, I've made no secrets, my garage is overcrowded. I got way too much junk in here. I've got all my tools, I got my skateboard toys, I got the hot rod back there. Behind it I got my Harbor Freight trailer. Behind it I have a motorcycle. Just junk everywhere, as you can see. Makes it really tough to get my projects done. Over here in the main garage, have the spot for my wife's car. Cannot use any of this space at all. Got where my Jeep normally sits. Right now I've got the new motorcycle in there and a bunch of other crap. That's all got to get out of here. I've got to get to where both cars are back in the garage again. That's my wife's one rule about me playing with these toys. I need to be able to get both cars in, and I've been violating that rule for about a month now. So when the good people at Newtry contacted me and asked me if I'd like to try out one of their products and review it, I said, yes, I can use that. What is it? Today's box. Fragile.
It must be Italian.
No. I hope it's not fragile, to be honest, because I want this to be very tough. Because it needs to be a hard-working product. And it needs to be durable, and it needs to last. So let's find out what it is, and then see if it is all those things. So in this box, we have another box. Oh. And if I'm honest, that box there came in another box too. So this is the third box. So they've packed it very well. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got inside. More packing. We have instructions. We have an electronic control box. We have a strap. Lots of good packing in here. Bracketry and hardware, and we have a hoist. With our hoist, we also have a snatch block and a screwdriver, some more hardware, and another bracket. Don't know what that's for yet. All right, first impressions. So nothing is damaged. Everything ships well. But as you can see, this is an electronic hoist for lifting. Why would I need this? Well, I do have a gantry back there, and on that gantry I have a chain fall. Chain falls are a pain. Okay, so as you can see here, this is my chain fall. You know, you have to be directly under whatever you're lifting in order to operate the chain. The chain can swing out some, but it's easy lifting, but it's slow, and the chain is always grimy and dirty, whatever. Being able to get out of the way, not be close to what you're lifting when you're, and have it controlled electronically, that's a bonus too. So let's go back out here and take a look at what we're dealing with. So on this gantry, you can see this is a lot more compact than our chain fall. We have a switch here, so when it comes up, it automatically will shut off so you don't overwind the cable. This thing is rated for 660 pounds single line pull, and if you use the included snatch block, which that is really nice that they send you a snatch block with it, you run the cable through here and you double line pull, and that will bring it up to 1,320 pounds of lifting power, which is pretty good. So, you know, engines, cars, one of my main uses for this is going to be, at one point I'm going to have to take that body on and off the hot rod in order to get everything done, and I plan to hook it to this hoist and just be able to lift it up and down with greatest of ease. So I probably won't be using this most of the time though, simply because most of my things are going to be under the 600 pound, but it's nice to know I have that capability if I do need it. One thing to note with you, when you do use this, your speed of lift decreases by half as well. So you can lift more weight, but it's at a slower rate. Hey, that rhymed. Lift more weight, but at a slower rate. Anyway, another nice little surprise is that they send this thing with 2 lifting slings. So, gives you a point to wrap something with, hook your hook, and they sent 2 of them. That's really convenient. I like that. They sent 2 styles, soft loops here and steel loops here. So just having them send that along with the package saves you from having to go buy that as well. So that's great. Now to mount this, they give you these 2 brackets, and with the brackets they send 4 flat washers, 4 locking washers, and 4 bolts, so you can bolt them right to the top of the unit. Now, after you've got this bolted together, or bolted together on whatever you're going to use to hold it, it's made to hang it like this on either round bar or square bar that will fit through the bracket holes. Yeah, it's about 1 3/4 inches square in here, so roughly 1 3/4 inches square for the opening. Now they don't send any mounting bar with it, so it's up to you to make sure you are safely using something that's going to hold the weight of not only the unit, but the weight of whatever it is you're trying to pick up as well. So keep that in mind. Don't be stupid. Make sure you're safe. However, now that I've bolted those brackets on there to show you that, I got to take them all off because I'm not using these brackets. Because I'm bolting mine to this trolley to go on my gantry. That way I will also still be able to move this and roll it back and forth once I lift something up. And I think that's a very worthwhile feature. Yes, I do lose some height because of the trolley. However, it's still a little bit better than the chain fall I have right now, but the distance between the gantry and my lift point. So overall, I'm not going to sweat that. The nice thing is this bracket does mount straight to the holes already in the lift for me, so it's ready to go. Now we just need to put this up on the gantry and do some testing. Okay, looking at our control box, looks like this bracket here bolts onto your back of your control box and then slips over the bolt that goes to holding one of your mounting brackets on. I wish I had noticed that earlier, but I'm going to take one of those bolts out in order to be able to mount this, because I've already got the hoist itself up on the gantry. So let's take this, and I'll be honest, that sounds kind of weird. Sounds like stuff's falling around in there. Not so sure about that. Another thing I noticed that these fasteners are metric. The ones that mount the brackets to the hoist itself, those were SAE. Not a big deal. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. I prefer you stay with one or the other, but hey. So let's take our 9/16, get up there and see if we can bolt this box up there. And hopefully it works. That sound bothers me. As you can see, we have our trolley on here, but in order to mount our controls to the unit, we need to undo one of these bolts. This does have a key slot, but I don't think it's big enough for that bolt head. Nah, it's got to come all the way out. Got it started. Okay, connect our controls back up here. String some power over here, and we should be able to make something go up and down. Lights are flashing on the control box. Take our control, hit the down button. There she goes. Look at that. Wow. Pretty fast too. Alright, we'll see if it goes up. Alright, watch the switch to see if it turns itself off. Perfect, look at that. Now I don't have to stand right under it and do this with a chain forever. So I like this. Okay. Well, that part works. Now, something I haven't told you about yet. You still have to be close with this control to do that. However, they also gave me this with it. This you can put around your neck and wear it as a life support thing.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
In case something falls on you, you can still lift it up off of you. No, the idea is you never get in that situation because you can be far enough away and still run this up and down. But anyway, this is pretty cool. I like this. Because, you know, I don't always do things the safest way possible. Having a way to stand away from this and do that, that's great. Alright, that's probably not an approved use for this lift. I wasn't expecting it to take off rolling when I got my weight on it. But it did lift me up. Not that that's that great of a challenge, but I could lose some weight. But anyway, one of the things I did notice about this remote is it has a stop and a start. So you can hit stop and that disables the remote. You can still control it from the control here, wired control, but until you hit start again, this remote will not operate. So it's kind of a safety feature, so you can lock this out. So anyway, we have that. Let's get to the real test because, like I said, my weight wasn't enough. What we have here is my Harbor Freight trailer, which is a major thing in my way. And if I could get it up where I can get stuff under it, it'd be less in my way. Now this is not the permanent use for this lift. As I said before, I will be using it to remove engines, to move the body on and off of the frame of my hot rod, etc. So there's plenty of things I'm going to be doing with this. But for now, I'm going to take this trailer, which weighs about 500 pounds, with all the stuff that's on it, the spare tire, etc. And I'm going to attempt to lift this up to where I have clearance to get my hot rod further back and get other stuff in this little garage. This is going to be our major test. Yes, I will be lifting heavier things with it. I'm not going to test the limits of this machine right now, mainly because right now I don't have something that I get that's going to test more than half of its capacity. But I think we're going to do a single line pull. We're approaching its capacity. We're going to see if it struggles. And I think we can, I mean, when you add a snatch block, that's just physics. I'm not worried about that part of it. If it can lift half its rated weight on a single line pull, it should be able to lift twice the weight on a snatch block double line pull. So that said, I am glad I have the remote control for this because I don't really want to be under this when it starts going up. So let's see what happens. All right, it's up in the air. I've got it pretty well balanced. So we should be able to take it up higher. All right. It is at its limit switch and it's as high as it's going to go. Now, that will allow me to put stuff under here. I don't want to be working under this the way it is right now. Obviously, that might be a potential health hazard. But it does give me more room in this garage. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to add some extra safety straps to strap it to the roof so it doesn't swing around and so that it's a little more safe for me so I don't have to worry so much when I have to go in and out underneath this thing. But single line pull, 500 pounds, it had no trouble whatsoever lifting this trailer. When I need to use it, I can just lower it back down nice and easy. And when I need to use it, I can just lower it back down nice and easy. No big deal. So that's kind of handy. Even if that's all I use it for, it's going to be very useful for me. But like I said, it's not going to be all I use it for. When I get to the point where the hot rod body needs to come off to finish the frame and to finish the bottom side of the body, this thing is going to become a clutch for me. So thank you, Newtry, for sending this out to me to test it. It works great. You may notice that I did move my control box from the end around to the front. That's because it was hitting the side of my gantry over here when I slid it over. So I thought it might be safer to put it on the front side. And I think that's where they show it anyway. So just to summarize, we have the Newtry PA600 small electric hoist. Single line pull, 660 pounds. Double line pull with a snatch block, 1,320 pounds. Seems very well made, very durable so far. Construction's pretty good. Only a couple things I noticed was mainly the sound of the electronics, something's flopping in the box. I don't know if something got knocked loose in shipping or if that's normal, but it doesn't affect the operation. Controls work great. The remote control is fantastic option, so you can be away from this thing when you go to use it and that be safe. It comes with all the stuff to mount it with those square brackets if that's how you want to do it. If you want to mount it to a trolley, this is just a generic trolley. The holes matched up perfectly on it. No issues there. Did not have to modify the trolley at all to make it work with this. It came with two types of straps, lifting straps, and the snatch block, which is just fantastic because those kind of things just nickel and dime you to death when you buy something like this. You buy it and then you realize, oh, I need to get this so I can do anything with it. All the tools, all the things you need come right with it. Very simple to assemble, get it ready to run. I don't know if you noticed, I never looked at the instructions once when I was putting this thing together. I just figured it out as I went. So it's very intuitive. That's nice. The motor is a 1200 watt, 110 volt motor. Seems to be plenty powerful. It lifted 500 pounds with absolutely no effort. So, I mean, it snatched it up. It's almost a little too powerful because when you're trying to lift something and trying to be gentle with it, it wants to pull it right away and it gets a little jerky there. So it's kind of hard to, you got to work that into how you're controlling it. The steel cable is galvanized, and of course it comes with this upper limit switch built into it so that when you're raising something up, you don't have to worry about stopping it. It's going to shut off at its max limit. I hope that will help some of you out there if you're interested in getting one of these and checking it out for yourself. I actually would recommend it. Now, to be fair, they sent me this to review. They did not pay me for this advertisement, so all of the comments and opinions I have put out here are legitimately mine. I'm not getting paid to say this, but yeah, I'm actually very pleased with it. It works great, and I think it's going to be a great tool for around the shop. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you'll consider Newtry because I think they're worth it. And like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, YouTube, later.